What is up guys, Andy Forest Team Runner here, and today I'm giving you guys my first impressions of the Atreyu Voyager. So that's 12 miles done and dusted in the Atreyu standard colourway edition, not the Voyager, like I said in the intro. That's the white with the blue midsole. This is the standard colourway edition. And today we're going to be talking all about, of course, the technical specs of this shoe, but how I found the shoe over those 12 miles. There was a lot of concrete, a little bit of trail, a heck of a lot of water, and a good 1,000 foot of climbing. So if you're excited for today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and we'll start by diving in to the tech specs. So let's start off with the stats. I went true to size in this shoe, UK size 13, men's US size 14. This is the lightest shoe I have in my rotation now, 226 grams or 8 ounces dead. Unbelievable. Way lighter than the Nike Zoom X Vaporfly Next Percent. This is just, there's nothing to it. I can't even imagine what the weight will be on lighter shoe sizes. I mean, Seth Demore, he's like got a size US 7 or 8 or something. It must be crazy light. Anyway, I digress. 21.5mm stack height in the heel, 15.5mm stack height in the forefoot, meaning we have a 6mm heel to toe drop. So we'll start in the heel counter area. We'll cover this section. We'll move to the tongue, the lacing, the upper, and the midsole to the outsole. This is going to be possibly one of the quickest tech sides of it, and I'm super excited for that because I can't wait to share my thoughts on it. But basically this shoe is super stripped back and basic, and I like it. But I'm going to make you aware of some sections of the shoe. This is as they print on the side here. 6mm offset, as I said, neutral distance road running shoe. We have some bumper padding around the top here. I say bumper padding, it's just like a bumper that sits underneath the ankle bone, goes around the back of the top of the Achilles there, swoops back down this side, and that's about it. Right below that, we just connect straight on to that one-piece upper, which is just absolutely minimal. There's no structure in this heel whatsoever. It folds right down. They state that on the website, minimal heel counter, and that's fine. Just so you're aware, there's no extra structure in and around here, no unnecessary overlays. We just have this funky little pull tab. Moving on to the tongue, we have what I would call a medium thickness tongue, thin to medium, borderline medium. It's lovely and comfortable. Whatever material they use, it's so nice. It's not like a paper thin racing tongue. It's also not a thick Asics kind of Brooks style big tongue cushion thing. It's a lovely, oh, I don't know what material is. It almost feels a little bit like suede. It almost feels a little bit like suede. It might even be on their website and I just haven't done my research, but I've got to be honest with you, it's a super nice feeling. And that same material in the tongue is used in this bumper cushioning here. So when you put your foot in, the initial feeling when it goes in is, oh, it's lovely. It's not a gusseted tongue, it's just a standard tongue. Connects to the base of the eyelet chain in and around here. That's it for that section, to be honest with you. Lacing, we've got a standard eyelet chain that runs all the way down each side. We've got the extra hole there for the runner's loop, which is great. We all know that we need that here and there on certain shoes. Some of you will need it in this shoe, some of you won't. I obviously ran, as you can see, my first run without it. I will be tinkering with it. I'll explain why shortly. But again, no frills. It just gets the job done. I did indeed get a really good lockdown straight out of the box. But again, something to note that we'll talk about very shortly. Moving on to the upper. super lightweight, super breathable, super thin. At certain points I can see light shining through both sides of the upper, so I can tell how thin it is, but there's no perforations in there. There's no sort of like holes like in the Hyperion Tempo or some of the other shoes. It's just a super lightweight material. Very comfy, fits to the top of my foot really nicely, and as you can see by the shape of your shoe, I have quite a wide foot. This fits really nicely, fits well. I've got lots of room in the toe box. It's not a narrow shoe. For me, I didn't find it narrow. It just worked really well. And finally, on to the one-piece midsole, which then acts as an operation for the outsole. There's no actual extra rubber outsole, no unnecessary rubber, no extra fancy overlays. They put that on their website. You do not need it. They state they have cut some grooves into the shoe, and it's interesting because I've seen a couple of their Instagram posts, and you can use the pattern of this outsole to determine where you land. You can see clearly wear and tear areas. So it's really interesting looking at some people that have used the shoe for quite a while, where they're wearing down their shoes. It's just a great concept that you can do that. I know we can do that as standard with a rubber outsole, but this makes it a little bit more clear. It highlights it a little bit more. So yeah, it's just the grooves cut into the base of the EVA midsole to give you some good traction. As you saw in that B-roll, it was a wet day and I got some really good traction out there on this shoe. I did about 7 to 8 miles on the concrete and about 4 miles on our buffed out cycle trail, and it just did really well on both surfaces, to be honest with you. It wasn't technical trails, as you guys know, they follow the channel. It's not technical trails that I run on, but it's just very buffed out flat trails, and it was just great on all surfaces, I have to be honest with you. So that's pretty much that for the tech. Okay, so on to the juicy bit. How did I find this shoe on the first impressions? Did I enjoy it? Did I not enjoy it? Well, as I've already alluded to, I love this shoe. There's a couple of things that I want to give you as sort of warning signs, and then we'll jump into the positives. I don't have anything negative to say about the shoe, but there are a couple of things that I feel I need to highlight, just so that you're aware of them if you are considering buying this shoe. The first thing I want to highlight, if you notice really carefully in the B-roll, when I was stepping over the camera, running away from the camera, you'll notice that there was a lot of creasing going on in the heel area. As the run went on, my heel did start to work its way a little bit loose. I think that was exaggerated a little bit more, not in the B-roll, but as I was going up and down the hills, I kind of felt it becoming more and more loose as I was going up and down the hills. So if you do look for something with a bit more structure in the heel counter area, just be aware. I'm not concerned about it because I'm going to be using these things on the next run, which I think is going to make all the difference. That's why I don't want to give it as a negative point. If I use these things and I still get it, then fair enough. But it's a first impressions. It's just what happened on the first run. So I'm telling you what happened to me and how I'm going to aim to resolve the issue. So I think the extra eyelet chain will sort that out. And the second thing just to be aware of is the midsole molds to your foot, but don't panic if it doesn't straight away. For me, in the first mile, I put the shoe on. I'm not going to exaggerate, and I have to always be 100% honest with you guys, because you guys know that these reviews are unbiased, and I love what Atreyu are doing. So I'm going to say that I put them on and the midsole felt super firm, like really firm. Beacon version 2 firm, but firmer. It was like putting my foot in a brick, and I thought, oh my word, I've got this super lightweight shoe. I started walking down the road and it felt really solid. And I was really concerned. I'm not going to lie, I was really concerned. But literally within 2 miles, the thing molded to my foot as if it was like magic. I could feel contours in my feet as if that's the right wording, where the midsole was just literally wrapping around the arches of my foot and everything. It completely transformed. I literally thought to myself as I was running, this is like magic. Like, I don't know what's happened, but there's a break-in period with the midsole. For me, it was 2 miles. For you, you might not even have a break-in period. I don't know if it's temperature related. I don't know what it is, but there was just something in the beginning which panicked me a little bit. I can reassure you it goes away, which is great. And literally that's the only warnings I have to give you. So if you're looking for a bit of stability in the heel, you're not going to get it. If you're a supporter, if you need stability in your shoe anyway, this won't be the shoe for you because it is a neutral shoe. And just be aware of the midsole. Other than that, I can't scream enough positives about this shoe. The upper is just... do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Endorphin, where they've got the Endorphin collection, where they've got the form fit upper. It wrapped to my foot lovely. As you can see, it's a wider toe box. I just showed you earlier. It's a wider toe box, so my foot fitted in really nicely as I have a wider foot. It was brilliant. So breathable, so light. It literally, as I got to about mile 3 and 4, the shoe just disappeared on my feet. And as I was ploughing up and down the hills, despite the heel cams getting a bit loose, although I noticed that, the shoe in itself just performed like magic. It was absolutely brilliant. In terms of the lockdown across the midfoot and the top, the lacing system, no faffs, no nothing. It just worked really, really well. And the comfort I get from this cushioning around the bumper area here and the tongue is second to none. And actually, I have to be honest with you, when the midsole did actually bed in, it was really, really nice. I really enjoyed it. It gave me that perfect responsiveness from, not responsiveness, it gave me that perfect level of firmness, cushioniness, sits in the middle, right there. Happy days. That literally and the final thing that I have to say about this shoe, I can't even articulate very well at the moment, because literally I'm just so happy with how this thing's performed, is the grip that it gave me in the wet weather. Despite there being no extra rubber outsole, these grooves, it just worked really, really well. I didn't feel unstable in the shoe at all. So, I mean, for me, first impressions are this shoe is magic. I'm super excited that Atreyu have produced this as a fantastic, affordable running shoe, super affordable. You must go and check them out. I just wanted to highlight those couple of things to you. I feel it's important, kind of not as my job, but as I'm reviewing them, it's important to share my findings straight off the bat. I have a feeling as we get on with this shoe more and more, we do the long run this weekend, we do the speed test later this week, all these little things that I'm finding will go away using the extra lace lock and all of that stuff. It's a good one, guys. It's a good one. I can't wait to put more miles in it. This is certainly going to be taken to 100 miles, and I, of course, will update you very soon with the speed test and the long run test. Let me know in the comments below if you managed to pick up a pair of Atreyus, which version you got, which are the colourways that you are excited for them to release, because I know they're releasing more colourways, and how you're finding this shoe. Let me know in the comments below. It'd be great to get a chat on with you guys. That's it for today's video. Please do give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I will see you on the next one. Until then.